Assalamu alaikum fam, hope you're doing well. So, with the abortion debate being brought up again in Texas, this is going to be like my little mini plea to some moms who are pregnant or they're afraid of getting pregnant and, they haven't really found the one. Just stay with the guy if he is not really your type. And stay with him, and when you don't like him, when you get mad at him, just go somewhere else. And even if you're in a tiny apartment, just avoid him as much as you can. Don't look at him. Try not to talk to him too much. And if he pays the rent, he gives you food, and you're able to be safe with your baby, this is something you have to have as a burden and suffer with. You'll suffer for it, and maybe Allah will bless you in the hereafter. And maybe Allah will grant you many blessings because you decided to give that child a stable home. And you and him may not like each other. You may not even get along. But you might be able to raise a good child together as long as you don't fight in front of the child. Yeah, you may not be as loving and stuff, but a father is needed in the home, especially if you have a son. So, for example, let's say you did something stupid, right? You got intoxicated, you got pregnant by a guy who could care less about you, and you think, oh, I need to go get an abortion now. Hold on, before you do that, go to the guy and say, hey, can we make this work? Can we find a way to not allow it to go to the clinic, to Planned Parenthood? And if he says yes, and say, what if we move in together and we try to make this work? And even if you don't love him, and let's say he can let you stay home, you should do it. It's something that's gonna be hard. It's not gonna be easy. Even if you have to close your eyes and pretend he's somebody else during intimacy, everything you should do, you should suffer for your child. You should not put yourself before your child. And a father matters. Really, for the daughters, they need it, and the sons need it. Just fathers matter, period. And again, you may not get along with him, right? You may not even like him. He may be just somebody who's like really annoying. And, you may think that you can't make it work, but you should take that L. You should take that pain, and you should try to stay with him as long as you can, even if it takes years and years. At least until your child is as old as you can get it, until you can't handle it anymore. Because you did it, and that child deserves a chance at life. And Allah gave you a chance to make that child's life good. Think about it. Imagine you didn't like that guy, and then you go and you make it work, and your child takes care of you when you're older. This is something that can happen. And I know people use that, and the feminists, they say like, every child's gonna be some miracle. What if the child just grows up to be a nothing, and it would have been better to abort it? It's like, come on, have some mercy. We have to get our mercy back for the little ones. We have to stop glorifying the dismemberment of the little ones. You're going to become more cold. You're going to be regretful if you can't conceive later. And a lot of American men, their sperm counts are going down. More American women are having trouble with fertility because of the pollution, the bad lifestyle, the intoxicants. People are becoming more and more infertile, and I know some of the liberal feminists, they like that. Like, oh, we have too many populations. They talk about humans like we're some disease on the earth instead of just coming up with pollution solutions. But we can't become anti-human like that. You're going to love your child a lot. It's going to be difficult, but all you need is a little bit of diapers. There's a lot of masjids probably. I don't know how they are in your area, but there are also Christian churches. They have a lot of diaper programs. A lot of religious places, even if you're not part of their religion, if you go in there and ask them for diapers and help, they can help you. Especially some of the Catholic places. And, maybe some Muslim sisters can get that started in their own masjids, so that we can help these women not want to abort their babies. Your child is going to be a refuge for you. If you don't like the guy, you can go to your child, and you're going to be crying maybe with your child there. They're a baby. They just see you crying. But your child is like a little bundle of joy, and it's going to be difficult. You're going to be tired, you're going to be waking up in the night. It's going to be hard for you maybe in the beginning to get your body back, but if you nurse your baby, your body is going to burn that fat. It's going to make nice healthy fatty calorie milk for your baby. Your baby's going to fatten up and you're going to be all right. You should take the suffering with pride, because life is suffering. If your boss told you you had a deadline, you'd be taking Adderall and drinking Red Bull energy drinks all night to get that paper in. You'll suffer for your boss, who doesn't even care if you live or die. Suffer for your baby, suffer for your child, and Allah can reward you for that, especially if you give your child a stable home. It's okay to be poor. Just stop looking at these women and being like, oh, I'm going to have all this plastic surgery. I'm going to be like J-Lo. I'm going to try to look young all the way to my 50s by constantly letting myself get sliced up by doctors and injecting myself with all this, weird, strange youth drugs and stuff like that. No. Just accept it. Your prime ages are in your 20s, and the highest abortion rates are between 22 and 24. These are your perfect ages to have a beautiful, chubby child. Okay? And your friends, they're not gonna love you like the same way as your kid. They're just not. And you're never really gonna have that perfect love that you think is gonna come from some guy some later on, And honestly, I think there's gonna be a movement now where men aren't gonna want baby killers as wives. And no matter how much Anna Kasparian and these Democrat, liberal, progressive types make it seem fancy and cool because they wear, a lot of makeup and perfect lighting to make themselves look young. No, it's not going to be like this posh corporate feel. You become kind of like some villain the older you get and the less children you have. You become just something very unloving. And it's okay to be loving. You can still be strong and be a mother. If you're not the really soft, tender type, you can still be a formidable parent. You can still be strong. You can still have discipline and regiment in the home. There's a lot of different styles of parenting, but you have to take that leap, and you should enjoy your pregnancy. Don't fear the poverty in the same way. If you have hot water to take a shower, you have shampoo products, you have filtered water, you have electricity, you have an internet connection, you can have just fresh fruits and vegetables, rice, beans, flour, you can make all kinds of stuff. These are the very simple, basic components that, think about, 400 years ago, that was like what royalty had, right? Princesses, yeah, sure, they had some dumb diamonds or whatever, but food and, water, this was something that was highly valuable. Today, these credit card companies and these lunatic musicians and stuff, they kind of make you think that you have to give up your wonderful years of child rearing to chase after material items. Look, you can be poor for a while, go to school part-time, have a part-time job, and you can be with your baby. I know some women, they're like, well, I want to party. I want my young years to be about partying. I want to be able to show off my body and go and hang out with people. And I want to be marveled at. I want to be admired. And I want to feel that warmth of attention. And it's going to fade. So I want to be able to have everyone look at my beauty while I'm young, because when I'm old, no one's going to really pay attention to me. And I want to, use my youth to get attention. Now, this is just a very sick way of thinking, I have to say, because you are going to not like the way you look. I think when you're in your 40s and you have a baby, your body recovers slower, and more women have problems in pregnancy. They bleed. It's very ouch. It's harmful. The women before, I think, were a bit stronger because they had children, like 10 children, and their bodies got used to it, right? but we're more softer now. We don't lift heavy things. We're not outside in the elements. So our bodies are a little bit more weaker. Our tissue is a little bit weaker, less dense. So I wouldn't say that it's the best thing for us to wait. I would love to have children for as long as I can, and that's different than if you already have children and you want to have more. That's different. But if you're gonna have your first, I think you should do it when you're younger, because you can also defend your child. You can also defend your child better. The older you get, it's harder for you to defend yourself, and you don't know when you're gonna need to defend your kid. You may never need to defend your kid, but at the same time, the energy is going to be higher in your 20s. And it's okay to be an old graduate. It's okay. Like, if you want to be 40 years old, your kid's in high school, right? No. If you have a kid when you're 22, and you're so let's say your kid's at least in, the 5th grade. Let's try it there. Then your kid's a little bit more older, and you can go to college, and you can get your degree and get started. It's okay to be old and go to college. I'm going to do that, inshallah. I'm going to keep learning until I'm in the grave, until, if dementia comes, then, someone's going to be teaching me, and then I'll just forget the next day, and they have to teach me again, But you're going to keep learning forever. And you want to get the money because you say you're going to take care of your family. But you can take care of a kid with very little. And I know the health care argument, yeah. But if you eat good and you try to do your best, you have to turn to Allah and hope that you don't get any of those complications. And if you do, Allah can make a way out for you. Allah can make it so that you don't have too much of a problem. But you don't need, I know some moms, they're really wealthy, right? Every time they give presents and stuff, it's like an Amazon Echo. It's all these electronic gadgets. And some of these women, they go to the spa a lot. They go to brunch. And they have a fancy lifestyle because their husband works in the financial district. And some of the housewives who are more poor, they don't want to go with those women because they can't afford it. Start your own way of going out with people. And you don't have to hang out with the wealthy women. And if you feel awkward and ungrateful because you're hanging out with the wealthy housewives, go to the, library. Be alone. You don't have to always hang out with the wealthy women, and you should not dislike your husband just because he can't provide for you for what those other women have. Those wine moms, we call them, they're going out and getting drunk, and then they go to their husbands, and their husbands, don't know what they're doing in the office with the sexy ladies who work in their office, who are in their skirts and their breasts are hanging out. You don't know what's going on. So don't think she has some great lifestyle because her husband gives her money to get drunk every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and puts the kids in, tennis or whatever. All you really need is the bare minimum. And once you get used to it, you'll get used to it. Endure the looks from people for being poor. It'll make you better. It'll make your kids better too. You ever seen a rich boy who's chubby, and his parents have never really pushed him, and he's been spoiled, and he's like a soft boy? He's a doughboy. But if you notice some of the poor boys, they're skinny and they playing soccer all day, and if they got a lot of energy, those kids. So being poor is okay. You'll get there, inshallah. Whatever Allah destines for you, you have to deal with. So when it comes to someone making fun of you, just deal with it. Just be clean. Just because you're poor don't mean you have to be dirty. Take your shower. You have your soaps. You have little tiny pleasures. Whatever it is. Like me, I like coffee, tea, and a pastry. And I get fancy soap sometimes. Like the handmade crafted soaps. And that's my little treat for myself. Or I play some video games. You have a little bit of your simple content pleasures, right? Now, if you have more money than that, well, Allah's blessed you, so maybe you can go to Hawaii. Maybe you can go to vacation some part in, Canada or something. Okay, but be happy with what you have. Because a lot of women make excuses. I don't have money, I can't afford a kid. Okay, but you can. You can afford a kid. It's just that you want to have a certain lifestyle before you have a kid. When your baby is little, they can sleep in the bed with you. you know? When they get older, I argue you need to put them in their own cradle so that they can learn to not, so they don't cling to you too much that you can sleep, you know? But some women don't. They let their kids sleep in their bed for too long, which I think it leads to dependency problems. But you have your little baby, they have a diaper, you have your little couple clothes, you know? You can breastfeed for 2 years. Allah let you to be able to breastfeed for 2 years. You'll be all right. You know, you'll be all right. You don't need much. Keep your baby. Don't abort it. Keep your baby. Don't abort it. Your kid's going to be a refuge for you. You're going to love it. Just be poor. It's okay. You know? I know feminists hate saying that. Liberal women hate it when you say that. They like to make fun of poor women. They like to make fun of farmers. They like to make fun of people in the countryside. But it's okay, man. You can have your baby and you can leave San Francisco, man. You don't gotta be there. Forget about stupid San Francisco. Leave there. Get the heck out of there. Go to the countryside. Be around some chickens. Give it up. Give it up anyways. San Francisco's garbage. Give up the fancy lifestyle. Go to the country lifestyle. Your kid will be healthier. They'll be outside. They won't be locked inside of an apartment with headphones on their head, staring at a tablet all day while you are on Zoom calls. You know? No. Get out of the city. Change your life. Change your life. Have a baby. Change your life. And if you're in the country, man, you got so many wonderful things you could do with your child that are free. Lay down on the grass. Stare up at the sky. Have conversations with each other. Tell stories. Teach the religion. There's a lot of things you can do to endure your poverty together with your child. Your child is going to be the only one who really cares about you. You know? Women, we forget that. Your child, he may grow up or she may grow up and, not want to talk to you anymore. But when your child's little, man, they love you so much. Have a baby. Don't abort it. Accept being poor. Accept that you only have like one pair of shoes. You know? When I first had my baby, I had some coats that didn't even fit, and I had some people make fun of me. Like, oh, nice jacket. Yeah, my belly was sticking out of my jacket, But, it was fine. I had to, just deal with it. You can get, there's a lot of loose-fitting niqabs and robes. You'll be fine. You'll be fine. Okay? Have a baby. Be pregnant. Eat good. Have a baby. Have a cute, chubby baby.